You'll often hear the phrase a character-defining run, but I would say this is a creator-defining run. Every time you hear a new book announcement and Jed MacKay's name is attached, people will say his Moon Knight was great. And they're right. This is a book that I was reading as it was coming out in the single issues, and many times it was the pick of the week. It was one of the better superhero titles coming out in comics during that time. And that's the thing about this Moon Knight run. This Moon Knight run by Jed MacKay is more of a street level / supernatural story, more of a superhero comic and less of the psychedelic thriller that was the Jeff Lemire run. We got an early look at the Moon Knight Omnibus by Jed MacKay, so we're going to take a look at it. We're going to give you the details of what it collects. We're going to look at the spine and the binding, some of the bonus material, and more. So let's jump into it. All right, before we take a look at it, we got to stretch that spine. And since I know you guys like to know this, this was printed by Megaprint in Turkey, so not the iMac, but made in Turkey, or printed in Turkey, I should say. All right, so we stretch that spine first, you guys. You want to do this when you open up a new omnibus to let the pages breathe. You don't want to let it get stuck in a certain position on the ribbon. Something that I think typically happens more with glued binding, and these are typically sewn, but I still do it anyway, out of habit. It probably still helps. But as you can see, this actually has a lot of give on the eye of that ribbon, where it comes up off of the spine of the book, allowing the pages to lay flat, which allows for minimal gutter loss. With most modern Omnis, the pages are a little bit on the thin side, but I don't see bad bleeding. Again, like if you look in the light, you can see through the page, but otherwise, if you're reading this flat, you're going to be fine. And as you can see all the way through, it allows you to lay flat for minimal gutter loss. All right, we're looking at the direct market variant, the Art Adams cover, which is scheduled to be released on October 2nd. Again, those dates are subject to change. This is one of those ones where the regular cover looks like it's supposed to be released on the following week, October 9th. So here we go, classic Art Adams. Here we have the spine, Moon Knight by MacKay. Got Moon Knight on the bottom, Marvel logo on the top. And here we have the back. His mission is justice. So it's been some years since I've read the run, and I didn't finish the entire run. So again, another reason why I love the omnibus format. You get the whole thing here. You get Moon Knight issues 1 through 30. You get Devil's Reign Moon Knight and Moon Knight Annual issue number 1, plus some material from Avengers 45 and Moon Knight Annual 1 from the following volume. While Khonshu languishes in a prison, Mark Spector's sacred duty must still be observed, the protection of those who travel at night. As Moon Knight, he is sworn to shelter his people from the weird and horrible, stalking the rooftops and alleys marked with a crescent moon tag, bringing violence to anybody who would harm his flock. But what happens when those he would save are turned to weapons against him? As old and new allies join his midnight mission, Mark must reckon with vampires, supervillains, and a rival to his status as the Fist of Khonshu. That's where we get the first appearance of Hunter's Moon, who, as Moon Knight describes, if he's the right fist of Khonshu, then Hunter's Moon is the left fist. But with a deadly foe pulling the strings from the shadows, will Moon Knight's solemn vow prove his ultimate undoing? Printed in Turkey, $100 cover price. You can get this for $75 from Organic Price Books. That's one of the sponsors of the channel. Not only is it discounted upon release, but you also can save an additional $2 by using code GemMint at checkout. They have great packaging and fast shipping. And if you're overseas, check out comicsbugle.com. They have free shipping, no tax, and no import fees if you're in the EU. They also do pre-orders where they don't charge you until the book is ready to ship. They also have great packaging made from 100% recyclable material with fast shipping, and you can save $2 by using the same code GemMint over there at comicsbugle.com as well. All right, onto the inside of the dust jacket, we get more of what's going on in the story out of the shadow of Khonshu. So in the name of his god, Moon Knight fought the Avengers and won, but now Khonshu has been imprisoned for his attempt to take over the world, and Mark Spector has found new purpose. He has claimed Khonshu's duty of justice as his own to better protect the travelers of the night. He has established his own midnight mission. So he runs this mission. He's got people working for him, like it says on the back, some old, some new, old allies, old foes. And as the others from his neighborhood fall into his orbit, including the unwilling vampire Reese, concerned citizen Terry, and the man with a dark past known as Soldier, and his former West Coast Avengers teammate Tigra, Moon Knight battles bizarre threats including bloodsuckers, an army of vermin, and a gang of violent elderly residents, as well as an array of super criminals like Jigsaw, 8-Ball, and the colorful clientele of the bar with no name. But Mark can't shake the feeling that he's being tested by some unseen enemy. Worse still, another vigilante believes Moon Knight has strayed from his true path. Now the Hunter's Moon will rise to prove himself the true Fist of Khonshu. Cut off from his god, in whose name he has been reborn many times, the stakes have never been higher for Mark. But as he strives to uphold his oath, will those who join him in his mission be a source of strength or his ultimate weakness? Moon Knight must contend with Mayor Wilson Fisk's law-banning costume crime fighters in New York City, the lethal vampire syndicate known as The Structure, and even a bloody reunion with his old sparring partner, Werewolf by Night. But as his past comes to haunt him, will Mark Spector's days be numbered? So the creators, like I said, Jed MacKay, and you have the artist Alessandro Cappuccio, as well as Federico Sabatini. Great art in here, as we're about to see. And just look at that wraparound cover. Amazing artwork here. Love this depiction of Moon Knight. You have this dude right here. I forget who this even is. I love the kind of glow on his eyes and the reflection coming from behind him. Very dope artwork, as with the rest of the run. And I think that's where this run is really strong. It has great covers, but amazing interior art as well. It's a fast-paced read, as you'll see. It's not overly wordy or not super heavy on the dialogue. We have your credits page, and that's it. No table of contents, as it's not really needed. As you can see, you jump right into issue 1, the mission, and it'll let you know when you're reading the annual and material from other runs. But here you have Moon Knight. This is the Moon Knight in the suit that you guys have probably seen if you haven't read this run before. But look at the artwork, that crescent moon cape dropping down, crashing into these vampires, which is the first arc, Moon Knight versus the vampires. And that's how we get the reluctant vampire that joins his crusade. Here's Khonshu, kind of a retelling of the origin of Moon Knight. And right away, great action scenes, fast, fluid artwork. Little Forrest Gump homage here with Moon Knight on the bench. But yeah, so what you're seeing is Moon Knight putting together this team. We have variant covers after the issue of issue number 1 here. Gabriel Del Otto, one of the great painters. And you have issue 2 strings. So McNiven did a lot of the covers here. Okay, I can see that now. McNiven on the covers, Cappuccio on the interiors. Yeah, when I was reading this, first of all, it's always cool to see an omnibus come out based off of issues that you were picking up off the shelves. Here goes Hunter's Moon. So this was the big key issue of this run, I guess you could say. First appearance of Hunter's Moon. But it's so cool because oftentimes you're picking up an omnibus, at least in my case, of stuff that came out years and decades ago, whether it's Silver Age, even Golden Age, or even stuff that just came out when I was a kid and I never got a chance to pick up. I was reading these issues as they came out on the shelves. I remember actually buying the physical copies of these, and I had a nice little run I was putting together. But here goes Tigra, joins the mission. Here we have issue number 8. Here goes Moon Knight with the, I think it's Hunter's Moon, actually, if I recall. Here goes Hunter's Moon, the yin to his yang. So like I said in the intro here, this was a great run. It really put Jed MacKay on the map. He did an amazing Taskmaster miniseries that I liked as well, but the Moon Knight run is really what gave him his name. And then when you hear him announced on new X-Men titles, people are willing to give him a chance because he did such a great job with this one. So you get the idea. You can see how it's pretty consistent throughout as well. The art style, here goes, he had to throw Taskmaster in there. The action, the fast-paced nature of it all. This is probably one of those omnis that you can knock out in a couple days, like I did with the other Moon Knight omnibus. I forget, was that the Horowitz one? The Houston and Horowitz? So very cool. I'm able to complete reading this now. I forget where I jumped off of it. Nice little Venom team up here, Moon Knight and Venom. All right, so great to see this, given the omnibus treatment, a great modern run. Let's take a look and see, here goes the Zodiac, what we have as far as bonus materials in the back. Looks like we're getting a lot of variant covers. So an afterword from Jed MacKay. We have some Kyle Hotz, Frank Martin variants, John Romita Jr. with J.P. Meyer and Matthew Wilson, Elizabeth Torque, Gerard Zaffino. Nice David Finch, kind of a OG Moon Knight veteran, right? Peach Momoko cover, Rod Reyes, another Gabriel Delgado. Here's the Art Adams Dean White, which is used for the variant cover that we have on the dust jacket here. The E.J. Sue, the Raza, Greg Land cover, Martin Simmons, Zhujian Yoon, Bill Sienkiewicz, great cover by Billy S. Liefeld Moon Knight cover, Scan. I remember when all these were coming out. The E.M. Geist cover. I think they made a trading card out of that as well. I think that was Trinity Comics who had that variant. Another Kyle Haas, Lucio Perillo. Another Bill Sienkiewicz, Nick Klein. A lot of great covers here. Philip Tan, OG classic artist. Alex Horley. You got a Tom Riley. Paul Renaud. Another Greg Land. A Frank Miller Moon Knight in his traditional modern Frank Miller style. Another Greg Land. Jim Chung. Art Germ cover. Doesn't really look like Art Germ, right? You typically see him do more realistic faces and such. Maria Wolf cover. Another Lucio Perillo, Salvador La Roca, Greg Capullo, nice. Greg Capullo with a Marvel cover. Of course, now he's doing Wolverine's Revenge. And then a bunch of other variants too, wow. A little ASM homage, Scotty Young. So yeah, this is definitely a must-read Moon Knight. Again, I don't want to say character-defining, but I think it's definitely a creator-defining, great-looking book. Give me your guys' thoughts and comments down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and stay minty fresh. Peace.